Hello, everybody. Thanks for listening to the Leon LeGray podcast. I'm your host, Leon, with episode 118 of the Leon LeGray podcast. Today we're going to go ahead and get on with today's story, talking about an exclusive deal. And for everybody that is listening to this podcast, well, let's go ahead and get on it straight away. Now, on to today's story, and actually, I should say, yes, this is actually yesterday's story coming from the 20th of 2020, which it highlights here. Joe Rogan signs exclusive deal with Spotify. Man, this is a very good story, and let's see what we have to hear about this too. So, and just to let you guys know that from this story, I'm going to read the story first, and then I'm going to give you my full-on opinion right afterwards too. So, here in this article, podnews.net, it says here, Joe Rogan goes to Spotify. And here it says, in one of podcasting's biggest deals, the Joe Rogan Experience, generally held to be the biggest podcast in the world, is to move to Spotify. In a licensing deal, it will remain free, but will become an exclusive Spotify show by the end of this year. The show is currently hosted on Libsyn. The show will be free to Spotify users, both premium and free users. It will be available in video on Spotify as well as audio. Spotify tested video May 7th, but were tightly lipped as to why, which begs more questions, which I'll have to look up why it is too. As far as I can see, I have no idea what's going on behind the scenes with Spotify, but I would definitely give you my personal opinion on that later on here in the show. So here we're going to continue on, which it says his full show won't be on YouTube anymore, though he will post clips. Possibly not that coincidentally, YouTube is already a full launch of YouTube Music, a Spotify competitor. I had a tongue twister. No terms were given, but the Wall Street Journal claims the deal is worth more than $100 million, depending on performance metrics. As Year Ali, a contributor to New York Magazine, claims it's $200 million. Either way, they're both big time deals if you're trying to get for that money. So let's continue on. PMM will continue to represent the show for advertising. It's a licensing deal, so Spotify won't have any creative control over the show. Rogan is reported to have said on his Instagram, his full library going back 11 years is to switch to Spotify from September 1st exclusively comes later in 2020. Okay, so let's just stop right here. So my take on this, with the Joe Rogan Experience being such a big podcast all over the place. Now, I can see why he wants to do it, because he doesn't want to put all his eggs in one basket. And the fact is, I will agree that having to move to a platform, sure, it may be good at hand right there. However, I kind of find it difficult to believe that he's moving away because he is trying to get away from YouTube. And even though, he has tons of different people that come on his show, especially from people from the left and the right, whatever, right? Now, given the fact that I can see his point on doing this. However, I don't think the way he's doing it, I don't think it may be a smart idea having signed the deal. And this is actually a very big, exclusive $100 million deal, or $200 million deal, wherever wherever you're finding your sources at. Now, I find this deal that it may not be the smartest deal personally, because the funny thing is that if you start signing onto a deal, even though Spotify may claim, okay, you can do whatever you want with your show, you can talk about this and that, and we're not going to hold you accountable, whatever, right? And the fact of the matter is that Spotify on its own is a big tech company. So really, you're using another big tech company like Spotify to combat over on a larger tech company like Google/YouTube, which I don't know how smart of an idea this is. Look, I'm sure that there's no way nobody wants to pass up out of a exclusive $100 million deal coming from Spotify. Now, here's the thing. You have to know what you're signing up for on this exclusive deal, given the fact that, yeah, it may be a lot of money, but at the end of the day, how much creative control you're going to have into your podcasts. And you have to make sure you're reading on the blueprint or the fine print how much control you're going to get. And he gets tons of controversial people in his show everywhere else, including Alex Jones. And I know Elon Musk was a controversial one from Tesla. And what I've understood, a lot of people kind of freaked out that he was doing pot right in the show. But either way, it doesn't really matter. But I know that YouTube, the environment of YouTube is getting out of hand. And let's just say that, for instance, what happens if this goes out of hand with Spotify? What happens if Spotify, at the other hand, even though, yeah, a lot of people wants to go and face out another company, do I think it's going to be a real, pretty much a real difference? I don't know. You're just using another behemoth to fight another behemoth to stop the tech giants like Google. I mean, come on. Let's just be for real. I don't know. You're going to make a huge impact, and you're signing away to a deal. Yeah, I'm sure that there's going to be video exclusives for people that if you sign up for Spotify Premium, there's going to be cool exclusives to watch the interview instead of listening to the interview. To me, here's the thing. I don't buy it at all, because what I understand is that Spotify does have these hateful agreements. And also, they are linked with hate groups such as the Southern Poverty Law Center, which is a well-known group that's a hate group that will target anyone for almost anything. I find that real difficult to sign away a deal, and I don't even think he even read the deal personally. God knows. And there's a kind of a thin line. It makes me wonder, how good is this deal? And to me, you're basically signing up a contract to the devil, and without even knowing that you did. And I think this is definitely a slippery slope, man, because Spotify is just, even though, yes, Spotify is a competitor to YouTube and to YouTube Music, I get that. But, I think Joe Rogan should have had to rethink his decision on this twice before signing an exclusive deal. And this may not be the popular best opinion it might take, but however, I don't think it would be the best thing to go forth, because depending on what you do on your show, what your guest is going to talk about. Even, let's say, for example, if Joe Rogan were to bring in other doctors that has different opinions, like COVID-19 news, right? And then if Spotify were to moderate his show and say, I don't know if we liked what he's saying, because the thing is, though, they will do anything to take away his creative freedom away. So there's that as well. I don't know how good this executive deal is. Either way, I think it's terrible, and there's something fishy about this deal that makes me want to run away, run away as you can. And I think he has made a big, big, big mistake. I'm just saying. But I think either way, though, we're gonna have to find out and see how this goes. Now, the news I think with Spotify from here is that with Spotify, I didn't had no idea that Spotify was gonna go for the route on video, and it's kind of cool, I guess. But either way, I don't even have a Spotify app to watch it, and I personally don't think I will ever re-download the app, reconsider download the app personally, because I swear, man. Because the thing about, I would say, with the history of Spotify, I think before Spotify did actually got into the podcasting world, Spotify was only for music. So, and back with Spotify's history, if an artist were to post up a album, let's just say an album, for instance, and let's say if it was a very controversial album, like I'm gonna give examples, like an album that has to do with patriotism or a controversial rap album, for instance. And the thing about Spotify, I think a lot of users have already noticed that Spotify's yucky practices on taking out albums that they don't deem is family friendly. And here's the part about this too. Just because you do not like their music, you shouldn't have to take the artist's album away. And there is a slippery slope right there too. I find that to be very difficult for me to trust Spotify, of all things, to come from this week, and coming from this week's official executive deal. But either way, I just think it's a very slippery slope. And if it was me, I would say no. So we're going to go ahead and cut this off because I know I have rambled too much, but closing down on this right here too. But yeah, so there's been artists that have had their music taken down because for stupid purpose that has happened to these artists. And I think putting your music on Spotify is not the best route to go. Because, sure, let's say if there was someone like me that wants to listen to an artist that, sure, I may not like the artist, but I'm sure those artists may have a unique message to them. Sure, they have bad language to them, and they may have derogatory messages, whatever, right? But it may not be my cup of tea. But that may be someone else's cup of tea. There's that. So, like I said, I would never go ahead and use Spotify as a service again because of that too. So that kind of throws the monkey wrench out, if I should really call it that way. So that's why I do prefer physical albums or downloads over than streaming, because that's a service. If you were to stream music, pretty much Spotify will go ahead have the say and say, nope, we cannot have your music on Spotify. So, and they will do that according to their rules. So that's just that. That's my take on the Joe Rogan exclusive deal for this week. But I am going to keep this episode pretty short. And let me know what you guys' opinion are on the executive deal. Do you think it was a good idea that he's trying to make a switch? Or do you think I'm right thinking that, hey, maybe he would have thought twice about it? Or if I'm wrong, let me know in the comments on podbean.com or whatever it may be. Either or. And last and not least, actually want to go ahead and mention actually this is kind of newsworthy, believe it or not. So let's go ahead and get on to the last news of today, which I'm going to go ahead and make this a very quick show, which this is coming from podnews.net, which states here, Blueberry Podcasting announces private internal podcasting service. So let's go ahead and get right on it. And here in the article, it says, the foremost podcast provider, Blueberry Podcasting, has added private internal podcasting to its inventory of products, providing 3 levels of service with increasing levels of security. Companies and organizations can choose which level meets their needs. So very cool. I really love that, actually. Tells me a lot right there too. So there has always been a need for private internal podcasting compatibilities, and we've seen an uptick in need because of the overwhelming number of people working from home, said Todd Cruchan, CEO of Blueberry. Companies need to communicate securely in 2020. Private interval podcasting provides secure audio and video on demand, available on both desktop and mobile devices, with differing levels of security, simple, standard, and enterprise. There are countless of cases for private interval podcasting, such as company announcements, board meetings, sales reports, commentary and analyst training, employee onboarding, speakers interview, and more. Statistics are included with all plans so that customers can discover how their content is being consumed. Blueberry statistics are IAB certified compliant, so companies can depend on their accuracy. Organizations and teams of any size can utilize private interval podcasting to reach their inside audience wherever they are, at home, in the office, or on the go. All private internal podcasting package comes with a professional hosting plan and best-in-class tech support. To learn more, please visit our website or contact us to schedule a demo. Pretty cool, man. Okay, so this is quite a neat news from Blueberry. Just received this over my newsletter from today over at podnews.net. So anyways, folks, I hope you enjoyed this quick, short episode of today, and hope to hear from everyone soon. Take care. Ciao. Hey, everybody. Thanks for listening to 118 of the podcast. If you enjoyed it, I'd love to hear and read your reviews on podcast services of your choice, and that will help me out as well. And also, other ways to support me is by going to Ko-Fi. And what Ko-Fi is pretty much like patreon.com, and pretty much all your pleasures can support you from here. I'm going to be starting out with Ko-Fi again, ko-fi.com, and I haven't started that website in a while, and hopefully there's listeners out there that'll be able to support me. So if you want to go and support me from here, that's one of the options you'll be able to help me on. Again, thank you so much for listening. Take care.